Arne provides injury latest on missing Liverpool duo Jadon Danns and Stefan Bajcetic. Second news is Mohamed Salah to Saudi transfer hopes increase as superstar left, disrespected. Third news is Jeremy Frimpong Liverpool injury update as 2 return but 5 ruled out versus Newcastle. Now details. Arne has given an update on the progress of long-term, injured Liverpool duo Jadon Danns and Stefan Bajcetic. Danns, 20, has made just one appearance for Reds this season, coming on for the final 15 minutes of a 2-1 Carabao Cup victory over Southampton at Anfield. But shortly after, the Liverpool-born striker was hit by a serious hamstring injury and hasn't played since. The academy graduate would have been almost certain to have been included in some of Slot's recent matchday squads, due to injuries to Hugo Ekitike, Alexander Isak, and the absence of Mohamed Salah on international duty. However, Danns remains sidelined and Slot could not give a clear indication on when he would be ready to resume his time on the pitch. The Reds' head coach said, "He'd have definitely been in the squad, but unfortunately, he isn't. We don't expect him back today or tomorrow as well. He's been very unlucky in his career until now. Good thing about him is that he has a great mentality, so he's always fighting himself back after setbacks. Unfortunately, he's had quite a lot because this would have been a great moment for him with Alexander Isak being out. He would have been able to help us out in certain moments, but unfortunately for him, and for us, he has faced a lot of injuries in his career until now. The good thing about him is that he will fight back and come back. It has been a similar tale of woe for midfielder Bajcetic, who also suffered a serious hamstring injury while on loan with Spanish side Las Palmas last season. The Spaniard required an operation to fix the issue, but has since been plagued with setbacks during his recovery. As a result, he has yet to play a single minute this season, and a return for the 21-year-old does not appear to be imminent. When asked about Bajcetic, Slot said, "He's not training yet. He constantly gets close to the team, then has a setback, then gets close, then has a little setback. We are hoping and expecting to have him very soon again. But that moment in time he trains with us again, he has been out for 6, 7, 8 months. As much as I'd like to have him back, we have to manage the expectations with him as well." Meanwhile, the club's record summer transfer Isak is still recovering from a fractured leg and is not close to a return to first-team action. "He's not even on the pitch yet. He's just out of his walker," said Slot. "He won't be on the pitch today or tomorrow in terms of his recovery work, so that's going to take a while, which we knew." Second news is Mohamed Salah to Saudi transfer hopes increase as superstar left disrespected. Al Ittihad's contract proposal to Karim Benzema has reportedly left the Frenchman feeling disrespected, prompting him to consider all his options. The Ballon d'Or winner is among the high-profile players who have made a lucrative move from Europe to Saudi Arabia, departing Real Madrid, but his contract expires in the summer. The 38-year-old was reportedly displeased with the offer presented by the Saudis, and according to ESPN, he has chosen to remove himself from the first-team squad and train independently. The proposed deal came from the Saudi Pro League, which manages the contracts of key players in PIF-owned clubs, and would essentially mean he'd be playing for next to nothing. Benzema has netted 8 goals in 14 appearances this season, but any potential departure could have significant implications. He's not the only big name who could be exiting the Middle East. French winger Moussa Diaby is rumoured to be on his way out of the club, and 2-time Premier League champion N'Golo Kante is very close to finalising terms with Fenerbahce. These high-profile departures could provide clubs like Al Ittihad with the financial flexibility to pursue some of Europe's top talent, including Liverpool superstar Mohamed Salah. Saudi clubs have long been associated with Salah, and more recently, Vinicius Jr., who has been linked with a departure from Real Madrid. This week, Ousmane Dembele has been suggested as a potential target. The Saudi Pro League is keen to secure more big names, and notable exits from the division provide both motivation and financial leeway. Al Ittihad attempted to secure Salah's signature 2 years ago and remains among those with a strong interest, but currently is unable to complete a deal. However, the situation could shift dramatically should players such as Benzema and Kante depart the club. Salah pennied a new Liverpool contract last season, but his performances have declined this campaign, and he's yet to reach double figures for goals. Consequently, he's been dropped from the starting side on several occasions, which prompted an outburst aimed at both the club and Arne Slot, sparking speculation about a potential departure. "I have done so much for this club down the years and especially last season," he said. "Now I'm sitting on the bench and I don't know why. It seems like the club has thrown me under the bus." He also added, "I said many times before that I had a good relationship with the manager and all of a sudden, we don't have any relationship. I don't know why, but it seems to me, how I see it, that someone doesn't want me in the club." Third news is Jeremy Frimpong Liverpool injury update as 2 return but 5 ruled out versus Newcastle. Liverpool head coach Arne Slot has confirmed that Jeremy Frimpong is facing a few weeks on the sidelines and that Joe Gomez will also miss the Premier League match against Newcastle United. The Reds, however, are boosted by the returns of Ibrahima Konate and Curtis Jones. Frimpong pulled up just 2 minutes into Wednesday's 6-0 Champions League romp over Qarabag at Anfield. Wataru Endo was forced to come on in the Netherlands international's place, meaning Slot's back four included just 2 recognised defenders in captain Virgil van Dijk and Andy Robertson, who had taken the place of Milos Kerkez at left-back. Connor Bradley and Giovanni Liani are out for the season with long-term knee injuries, while Gomez was also sidelined through a hip issue. But Konate, who has been on compassionate leave following the passing of his father, is now poised to make his comeback. And midfielder Jones, who missed out in midweek through illness, is also ready to return to the fold ahead of the visit from the Magpies on Saturday evening. Slot, who is still without striker Alexander Isak, said on Frimpong, "He will definitely not be in the squad tomorrow. He'll be out for a few weeks, but it's not as bad as we thought, so something positive from something not so positive. Konate trained with us yesterday, he'll train with us today, and he'll be in the squad tomorrow." Slot added, "Curtis is again available after being sick, but Joe won't be available. But that won't take that much longer." Absence of Frimpong, Bradley and Gomez means Liverpool will be forced to field a midfielder at right-back against Newcastle, who are 3 points behind their hosts in the race for a Champions League place. On Isak, who sustained a fracture in his left leg in scoring in the 2-1 win at Tottenham Hotspur in December, Slot said, "He's not even on the pitch yet. He's just out of his walker. He won't be on the pitch today or tomorrow in terms of his recovery work, so that's going to take a while," which we knew. Last news is Connor Bradley could still have big role to play during Liverpool injury layoff. Connor Bradley could still have an important role to play during his injury layoff, as Northern Ireland eyes a place at the World Cup. The Liverpool right-back is expected to miss the remainder of Liverpool's season after suffering a serious knee injury during the 0-0 draw with Arsenal earlier in January. That means he will also be unavailable for international selection in March, when Northern Ireland takes on Italy in a World Cup playoff. The winner of that game will play either Wales or Bosnia and Herzegovina, with a place at this summer's World Cup in the United States, Canada and Mexico at stake. Although Bradley, who is Northern Ireland's captain, will not be able to help his country get to the World Cup on the field, Northern Ireland manager Michael O'Neill is hopeful that the youngster can have an impact off it. The training base for Northern Ireland ahead of the game against Italy is in Liverpool, so it is convenient for Connor to drop in and see us, O'Neill told the BBC. "Speak to him and have been speaking to him. That's something for closer to the time and for his club to decide if it is right. He will be 2 or 3 months into his recovery, so we'll play it by ear, but it would certainly be nice to have him around if possible." Scans on Bradley's knee after the game against Arsenal thankfully eased fears that the player had ruptured the anterior cruciate ligament in his left knee, but the player suffered significant bone and ligament damage and underwent surgery. Although Liverpool said that no timeframe was being placed on Bradley's return, he is expected to miss the remainder of the season. Bradley is the second Liverpool defender to suffer an apparent season-ending injury this term. After new signing, Giovanni Liani sustained a serious knee injury of his own back in September. Liverpool's defensive injury issues worsened this week, as Jeremy Frimpong sustained another injury, which will keep him out of action for several weeks. That leaves Arne Slot without a recognised right-back in the squad, and Joe Gomez, the central defender who Slot would be most likely to call on to deputise at right-back, is also currently unavailable due to injury. Despite being just 22, Bradley has already won 30 senior caps for Northern Ireland. He's made 78 first-team appearances for Liverpool to date, helping the Reds win the Premier League title and Carabao Cup.